A dear friend of mine, Mrs. Anita, who is 68 and lives in New Jersey, once shared a quiet frustration. She told me I drink a warm cup of herbal tea every night because it helps me relax. But still, around 1 a.m. I wake up. By 4 a.m. I'm up again. I thought it was just part of getting older, but now my mornings feel heavier than my nights. Her words reflect what so many older adults in both America and India quietly endure: nights broken by bathroom trips and days clouded with fatigue. The sad truth is that many people accept this as something they cannot change. But doctors warn that repeated awakenings not only rob you of rest, they can slowly affect memory, raise your risk of heart strain, and even lead to dangerous falls when walking half asleep in the dark. What Anita didn't realize, and what most people never hear, is that her problem wasn't simply age. The real cause was much simpler: when and how she was drinking her fluids. One small daily habit was silently disturbing her nights. Today, I'm going to show you the best way to drink water after 60, so you can enjoy calm nights, steady energy, and mornings that feel light again. Before we begin, I'd love to hear from you. Where are you watching this video from? And what time is it right now? Leave a comment below. I can't wait to see your answers. And if you enjoy this video, hit that subscribe button. If not, just give it a like. It really helps this channel grow. Because restful sleep is not a luxury, it is your body's natural right. The real cause of nighttime urination: hormones and kidneys. Our bodies quietly shift in ways we rarely notice until they disturb our daily life. One of the most important changes happens with a hormone called vasopressin. This hormone acts like a gentle night watchman, telling the kidneys to slow down urine production while we sleep. In our younger years, vasopressin levels rise naturally during the night, allowing the bladder to stay calm until morning. But after 60, the body produces less of it. Without that signal, the kidneys continue filtering fluids as if it were daytime, filling the bladder sooner and pulling us out of deep sleep. What feels like just a nuisance trip to the bathroom is actually a sign that the night watchman is no longer on duty. Alongside this hormonal shift, the kidneys themselves also age. Their ability to filter blood and balance fluids becomes slower, not in a dangerous way, but in a quieter, less efficient rhythm. For many older adults in both America and India, this means even a normal glass of water in the evening can overwhelm the system. The bladder fills more quickly, sending signals long before we are ready to wake. You may find yourself lying in bed heavy with fatigue, wondering why the urge feels so strong when you drank no more than usual. It is not weakness on your part, it is simply how the body's delicate balance changes with time. Let me share a story to bring this to life. In Ohio, a retired teacher named Robert, now 71, struggled with 2 or 3 bathroom trips every night. He thought it was just age catching up with him. But after learning about vasopressin and kidney efficiency, he made one small change. He shifted most of his water intake to before mid-afternoon. Within a week, he was sleeping 5 straight hours for the first time in years. Across the ocean in Bangalore, a grandmother named Lakshmi faced the same frustration. She enjoyed her evening cup of chai, but realized it was adding more fluid than her body could handle at night. By moving her tea to late afternoon and sipping only a few ounces of warm water before bed, she began sleeping peacefully again. The lesson is clear. Nighttime urination is not an unavoidable curse of aging. It is often the result of hormonal decline and slower kidneys, but both can be managed with small, thoughtful changes. You cannot control the loss of vasopressin, but you can support your body by respecting its new rhythm. Drink earlier, sip lightly in the evening, and give your kidneys the chance to rest when you do. With gentle awareness, peaceful nights are still within your reach. Understanding the sensitive bladder after 60. When we are young, the bladder has an impressive capacity holding between 400 and 500 milliliters before sending the brain a strong signal to empty. That means you could go for hours without interruption, confident that your body could wait. After the age of 60, however, this capacity often shrinks to nearly half. Many older adults discover that their bladder now sends an urgent message after just 150 to 200 milliliters, barely half a glass of water. This shift alone explains why nights that once felt long and peaceful can suddenly feel broken into restless fragments of sleep. The challenge goes beyond smaller storage. As the nerves around the bladder age, they also become more sensitive. This sensitivity can create what doctors call false alarms. The bladder sends a message to the brain as if it were full, even when only a small amount has collected. For seniors, this can feel confusing and frustrating. You wake up at 2 in the morning believing your bladder must be bursting only to pass a trickle. Over time, these false alarms train the mind to expect disturbance, making the body restless even before any real urge appears. Adding to the problem is a common habit carried from childhood, the just-in-case bathroom trip. Parents once told us to empty the bladder before bed, hoping to prevent accidents. But in older age, this well-meaning routine can quietly train the bladder to expect to be emptied early. The result is a muscle that becomes impatient, sending signals more quickly than needed. For many older adults in America and India, this creates a cycle of anticipation and unnecessary wakefulness that undermines the quality of rest. The hopeful news is that the bladder can be retrained even later in life. Doctors often recommend practicing the true urge method, waiting until the bladder feels genuinely full before responding. This may require a few extra minutes of patience, sometimes distracting yourself with breathing exercises, gentle reading, or quiet prayer. Over time, the bladder muscles relearn to stretch and hold longer, reducing the number of false alarms at night. Dear friend, a sensitive bladder does not mean you have lost control. It simply means your body needs new rules and a gentler rhythm. By understanding its changes, resisting unnecessary bathroom trips, and trusting your body's signals, you can gradually reclaim deeper, calmer nights. This process takes patience, but it is within your power and it can bring back the rest your body and mind truly deserve. Common mistakes when drinking water. After 60, one of the most frequent mistakes older adults make is saving most of their water intake for the evening hours. During the day, they may sip only small amounts, thinking it will help them avoid bathroom trips. But when thirst finally arrives late in the afternoon, they drink 2 or 3 glasses all at once. For a younger body, this might not matter, but after 60, the kidneys and bladder cannot process such a sudden flood. The result is a restless night interrupted again and again by urgent signals. A better rhythm is steady hydration during the day, especially between breakfast and mid-afternoon, with a gentle tapering in the evening. Another hidden culprit is the comfort of warm drinks at night. Many seniors enjoy a soothing cup of chai, coffee, warm milk, or even a bowl of light soup before bed. While these habits feel calming, the truth is they add more fluid just before sleep. Some of these drinks, like tea and coffee, also act as mild diuretics, pushing the kidneys to produce even more urine. What begins as a relaxing ritual can quietly become the reason for repeated awakenings. Shifting these drinks to earlier in the evening or choosing a smaller portion can help the bladder stay calmer at night. A third mistake comes from the old routine of going to the bathroom just in case. Parents once taught us this habit in childhood, and it stayed for decades. But as we age, the bladder learns from repetition. Emptying it when only a small amount has collected trains the nerves to send signals earlier and earlier. Soon, you may wake up in the night for little more than a trickle. Trusting your body and waiting for a true urge can retrain the bladder to hold longer, reducing unnecessary trips. Finally, the temperature of what you drink can also make a difference. Cold water straight from the refrigerator may feel refreshing, but it can irritate the lining of the bladder. For older adults with already sensitive nerves, this irritation can trigger more urgency than usual. Warm or room temperature water is far gentler, especially in the evening hours. It hydrates without shocking the system, allowing the bladder to remain calm. These mistakes are common and understandable. No one explained to us that the body's rules change with age. But now that you know, you can adjust drinking steadily through the day, shifting warm drinks earlier, trusting your body's real signals, and choosing water that is gentle rather than cold. These are small but powerful steps, and with them, your nights can once again belong to peaceful rest. The right time to drink water. After 60. One of the most powerful but often overlooked secrets to better sleep is not how much water you drink, but when you drink it. Doctors recommend that older adults aim to consume nearly 70% of their daily fluid intake before 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This rhythm works with the body's natural clock, giving the kidneys plenty of active hours to filter fluids and balance electrolytes while you are awake and moving. Think of it like paying your bills early in the day. Rather than waiting until midnight, your system finishes its work on time and your nights remain peaceful. After 5 o'clock in the evening, the rules need to change. Instead of large glasses, the focus should shift to small, steady sips only when you truly feel thirsty. For many seniors, this adjustment feels challenging at first. The habit of pouring a full glass with dinner is deeply ingrained. Yet tapering down in the evening allows the bladder to settle before bedtime, helping you avoid those 2 or 3 unwanted trips at night. It's not about denying yourself hydration. It is about choosing timing that supports the rest your body deserves. There are moments, of course, when water is necessary in the evening, especially if you take medications after dinner. In those cases, just a few ounces are enough to swallow pills comfortably without overwhelming your bladder. If dryness or thirst lingers, try taking a spoonful or 2 of room temperature water every few minutes instead of finishing an entire glass at once. This small change can make the difference between uninterrupted sleep and another restless night. Let me share the story of Margaret, a 73-year-old widow from Arizona. For years, she believed her nightly awakenings were simply part of aging. She often drank 2 large glasses of water with her evening meal, hoping to stay hydrated overnight. But the result was 3 bathroom trips between midnight and 4 a.m., leaving her groggy and unsteady in the morning. After her doctor suggested moving most of her water to the morning and early afternoon, she made the change. Within a week, she was sleeping nearly 6 hours without interruption. She told me I thought my age had taken peaceful sleep away, but it was really just my timing. The message is clear. Hydration is still essential after 60, but timing is the key. By drinking most of your water before the afternoon ends, tapering gently in the evening, and sipping only enough for medicines at night, you give your body the best chance to rest. Dear friend, you still hold control over your nights. With small, thoughtful adjustments, you can protect both your sleep and your independence. Hidden water in foods and its impact at night. Many older adults are careful with how much water they drink in the evening, but they often forget that food also carries a hidden load of fluids. Fruits like watermelon, oranges, grapes, and even raw tomatoes are packed with water, and while they seem light and refreshing, their timing can make all the difference. Eating a few slices of watermelon or a bowl of grapes after dinner may feel harmless, but for a bladder that has already grown more sensitive with age, this added water becomes enough to disturb sleep. The bladder does not care whether liquid comes from a glass or from fruit. It fills up just the same and often more quickly than expected. The same is true for soups and broths, whether it is rasam in an Indian household or a light chicken soup in an American kitchen. These dishes are comforting, especially in the evening, and many seniors turn to them believing they are easier to digest than heavier meals. But what feels light in the stomach still adds significant fluid to the body. A bowl of clear dal or broth may carry nearly the same volume of water as a full glass. By the time you lie down to sleep, the kidneys are still at work and the bladder is already filling. What was meant as a soothing ritual can quietly become one of the reasons for repeated awakenings at night. Another hidden factor comes from salty or pickled foods. A handful of salted nuts, a slice of pickle, or an overly seasoned curry may taste satisfying, but they quietly create thirst. The body responds by asking for more water, often right after dinner or just before bed. Many older adults in both America and India describe this cycle: a salty snack in the evening, a big glass of water to quench the thirst, and then 2 or 3 bathroom trips through the night. It feels like a small indulgence at the time, but the impact on rest is much larger than expected. Over time, the constant interruptions leave the body drained, memory less sharp, and mornings heavy instead of refreshed. The good news is that small adjustments can make a real difference. Choosing steamed or gently cooked vegetables instead of raw watery salads in the evening helps reduce bladder irritation. Replacing salty or pickled foods with lightly seasoned dishes lowers the need for late-night drinks. Even shifting fruit intake to earlier in the day, perhaps enjoying oranges or watermelon before 4 p.m., gives the body time to process fluids while you are still active. These are not drastic changes. They are thoughtful choices that honor how the body works after 60, and they can bring back the peace of uninterrupted sleep. Dear friend, it is easy to forget that water hides in the foods we love. The truth is not meant to take away enjoyment, but to give back balance. By paying attention to the hidden fluids in fruit soups and salty dishes, you can gently protect your nights. You have spent decades caring for others at the table. Now it is time to let your meals care for you, offering nourishment without stealing your rest. With awareness and a few gentle shifts, your body can still find its rhythm, and your nights can once again belong to quiet, healing sleep. Habits that support uninterrupted sleep. One of the most overlooked reasons older adults wake up at night is the way fluid shifts in the body. During the day, especially if you spend long hours sitting, fluid slowly collects in the legs and ankles. When you lie down at night, that fluid moves back into circulation, forcing the kidneys to produce more urine just when you are trying to rest. A short morning walk, even 10 to 15 minutes around the block, helps release this excess fluid earlier. For seniors in both America and India, this simple habit not only reduces swelling in the feet but also lessens those 2 a.m. bathroom calls. Sleeping posture also plays a quiet but powerful role. Many older adults find that lying flat on the back increases bladder pressure, creating the urge to wake sooner. Doctors now suggest a small but effective shift, sleeping on your left side with a pillow between your knees. This position relieves pressure from the bladder, supports digestion, and eases circulation. For many, it also reduces snoring and nighttime reflux, both of which disturb rest. A retiree in California once shared that this one adjustment gave him his first 6-hour stretch of sleep in years. The environment around you matters as well. Thick pajamas, heavy blankets, or a stuffy room can overheat the body, forcing more kidney activity and unnecessary thirst. A cooler room, ideally between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, allows your system to stay calm. Cotton clothing and a light blanket are far better than layered synthetic fabrics. In Chennai or Miami, where humidity lingers, a small fan or open window can make the difference between tossing all night and waking refreshed. Finally, calming the nervous system before bed helps reduce false signals from the bladder. Deep, slow breathing with one hand on the belly and one on the chest creates relaxation from within. Some older adults prefer to read a page of scripture or listen to soft music while practicing this breathing, combining peace for the mind with calm for the body. Over time, the bladder learns not to send urgent messages when it is only partially full. These habits are not complicated. A short walk in the morning, a better sleep position, lighter clothing in a cool room, and a few deep breaths before bed can quietly transform your nights. They remind us that rest is still within reach, not lost to age, but waiting to be reclaimed with patience and care. Common myths you need to let go. One of the most widespread beliefs among older adults is that drinking less water during the day will mean fewer bathroom trips at night. At first, it sounds logical, but the body does not work that way. When you drink too little during the day, your body becomes mildly dehydrated. The kidneys then work harder in the evening to correct that imbalance, often producing more urine exactly when you want to rest. Many seniors in America have told me they limit themselves to only a few sips until dinner, but then they feel overwhelmingly thirsty at night. The result is a large glass of water before bed, which almost guarantees a broken night. The smarter approach is steady hydration during the morning and afternoon, so your system is already balanced long before bedtime. Another common misunderstanding is that nighttime urination is only a man's problem because of the prostate. While the prostate can contribute, women experience the same challenge just as often. After 60, both men and women face changes in bladder capacity, hormone levels, and kidney efficiency. For women, childbirth, and menopause can further affect bladder control and sensitivity. Yet many women dismiss their symptoms, assuming it is just something men go through. In reality, both genders are equally at risk of interrupted sleep from nocturia, and both deserve practical strategies and support. Recognizing this helps older women seek solutions instead of silently enduring night after night of exhaustion. Finally, there is the comforting but misleading idea that drinking warm water at 9 o'clock helps digestion and improves sleep. While the warmth may relax you for a short moment, the added liquid still reaches the bladder. For older adults with more sensitive bladders, this means an extra urge during the night. I once heard from an Indian grandmother who faithfully drank haldi milk at 9 each evening, believing it helped her stomach. But she always woke around 2 in the morning, tired and restless. When she shifted her warm drink to earlier in the evening, her sleep improved dramatically. The truth is not that warm drinks are bad, but that timing matters more than temperature. These myths are easy to believe because they sound harmless, even caring. But once you understand how your body changes after 60, you can let go of these habits without guilt. Drink enough during the day. Remember that women face this too, and save your warm evening drinks for earlier hours. By making these gentle changes, you can protect your nights, strengthen your mornings, and remind yourself that peaceful rest is still within your control. George, a 72-year-old retiree from Ohio, used to dread bedtime. He told his daughter that no matter how tired he felt, he never managed more than 3 hours of sleep before waking for the bathroom. By morning, he was groggy, his legs heavy, and his mood weighed down with frustration. Like many older adults, he assumed this was simply his age. But during a routine checkup, his doctor explained that drinking most of his water after dinner was straining his bladder at night. George decided to try something different. He began drinking more water in the morning and early afternoon, keeping only a few sips after 5 o'clock. Within a week, he noticed he was waking only once, and sometimes not at all. The mornings felt lighter, his memory sharper, and his confidence in walking around the house returned. He said, "I thought aging had stolen my sleep, but it was just my timing." Across the ocean in Bangalore, Lakshmi, a 68-year-old grandmother, shared a similar struggle. Her routine included a late cup of chai at 9 p.m., a habit she believed helped her relax before bed. Yet each night she was awake at 1, then again at 3, restless and exhausted by sunrise. When her granddaughter gently suggested moving the chai to late afternoon, Lakshmi resisted, afraid she would lose her comfort ritual. But she gave it a try. To her surprise, within days, she was sleeping 5 to 6 hours without interruption. Her mornings became joyful again, filled with the energy to cook, walk to the temple, and even play with her grandchildren. She realized the ritual was not the tea itself, but the sense of calm it gave, and that calm could come earlier in the evening. These two journeys, though thousands of miles apart, carry the same message. Sometimes it is not medicine or age that decides your rest. It is a small, thoughtful change in daily rhythm that gives the body back its peace. Nighttime bathroom trips are not simply an unavoidable part of growing older. More often, they are the result of drinking water at the wrong times or holding on to habits that no longer match the body's rhythm after 60. Once you understand how hormones, kidneys, and bladder sensitivity change with age, you realize that better sleep is not lost. It just requires a smarter approach to hydration. You have spent decades caring for family, working hard, and carrying responsibilities that left little time for yourself. Now is the moment to turn that same care inward. By drinking most of your water earlier in the day, tapering in the evening, and choosing smaller sips when needed, you are giving your body the respect it deserves. This is not about restriction. It is about timing balance and protecting the rest that keeps your mind clear, your legs steady, and your mornings brighter. So here is my gentle challenge to you. Try these small changes for just 7 days. Notice how your sleep feels, how your mornings begin, and how much calmer your nights can become. And when you do share your experience, because your story may inspire another senior who feels alone in this struggle. Leave the word hope in the comments, subscribe for more practical health tips, and share this video with a friend or loved one who may need it. Peaceful nights are not behind you. They are waiting to return, one thoughtful sip at a time.